welcome back to the Poppies Purls Fiber Company Knitting Podcast. My name is Jana, and you can find me on Instagram under Poppies Purls Fiber Co. I do have a Ravelry that I started, but it has nothing in it yet. I will be adding to that as I am able. It's been a lot so far just to keep up with my Instagram regularly as a commitment and do work and life and all of that other stuff. So baby steps, little by little, I'm going to establish my Instagram and work to focus on the podcast itself before I get too further afield. I enjoyed making episode 1. I learned a lot from it. I said about a bazillion times. It was a lot. I watched the whole episode back, and that was the cringiest part for me, was how often I said So I'm going to make an effort this time to minimize that. I can't promise it won't happen at all. It's a habit. But I will try to be mindful of it so that you guys aren't just getting a bunch of ums in a podcast episode that you came to hear about knitting on. I also realized that it was an hour and 20 minutes, episode 1, and I realized that in an effort to avoid it being too short, I over-prepared. I over-prepared so many things to talk about that I talked for an hour and 20 minutes, but I tried to squeeze so much in that I didn't really get to talk in detail about my experience of what I was knitting, of my thoughts on some of the things I was knitting and the challenges I was having maybe, or the things that I found exciting about the pattern. So moving forward, I think I will be careful about how much I prepare to talk about for the podcast episode. That way it's about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, short, sweet. You guys don't have to sit around for an hour and 20 minutes listening to me ramble about nothing much in particular. We'll see how it goes this time. It's a learning process. I like to learn. I like to accomplish things, and I think this process is exciting and enjoyable. So hopefully you guys enjoy it too. But let's get started. I didn't prepare any tea today. I am taking a lunch break from work to film this, and I had my coffee not too long ago, and so no tea. I did receive more tea in the mail from Magic Hour, which I'm excited to try. It's more herbal tea. It's more of their tarot inspired subscription box, and this time it was the High Priestess, I believe. I'm not sure. If you'll hold on one second, I'll go and find it for you. Okay, I'm back and I found it. The tea that came in was the Empress, not the High Priestess. It was the Empress. It is a lavender currant shatavari cocoa tea for nurturing creativity. It has apples, French chicory root, black currants, carob, licorice root, red raspberry leaf, hawthorn berries, schisandra berries, shatavari root, ashwagandha root, lavender flowers, maca root, red reishi, organic carob chips, cocoa powder, monk fruit, and it has less than 1 milligram of caffeine. So it's not completely caffeine free, but it's beautiful packaging. Again, as always, it's the sampler package, which is just gorgeous. But the my tee came with this beautiful steeper. Oh, sorry. I should be more careful to turn off all my alarms and everything. It came with this beautiful steeper strainer wand that is just gorgeous. I'm excited to use it, but not right now. I guess we can start with my purchases that I've made since 2 weeks ago, which there were several. I made many. The first thing I got was that I'm really excited. It's my second one, is this mini minder from Lemonwood. It is the Believe mini minder. It has this beautiful unicorn, this beautiful coloring, and the cute like unicorn-ish strap. I'm excited about it. I have another one that is a bumblebee theme from Lemonwood, and I love them. I use them all the time. I was using the Believe one earlier, but I took my ball of yarn off to show you guys. I also purchased this lovely interchangeable needle set case from Quince & Co. It's twig and horn, and it opens up and has a space for your interchangeable needles here, and then a zipper pouch, separated zipper pouch. I don't know if you can, it's canvas. The zipper pouch opens up into three separate little compartments for your cords to put them in. I separated them out by size. I need a better way to indicate which size is which because I am really bad at keeping that straight. But what I did was I also purchased the Likey Color Collection Rainbow Shorties set, and purchased this case to keep them because they didn't come with a case. And I don't know about you guys, but I am the worst at keeping track of my needles, especially my interchangeable needle sets, or in like just one-off interchangeable needles that I buy for a project, because I never have the needles I need when I need them. And so I just buy a new pair of interchangeable needle tips from my local yarn shop, and then I have a bazillion. I should have more than enough. I should have way more than enough to knit with, but it's never the case. They're never there when I need them. So I'm trying to get better about being organized with my needles. I feel like I'm going to do some sort of a search of my house and gather all of the interchangeable needle tips I can find and cords, and do an inventory, and then figure out a system for keeping track of them all. That helps. If you have any ideas, let me know, because that would be amazing to have some tips on needle storage and organization. So I purchased that from Quince & Co. I talked last week about, or 2 weeks ago, about Ritual Dye's Maiden and how much I loved knitting with it, or am loving knitting with it, because I'm still working on the shawl that I'm using it for. But I love it so much that I bought more. I went to the Ritual Dye's website and purchased 2 skeins of Ritual Dye's Maiden in Jadeite. And for those who didn't watch before, Ritual Dye's Maiden is a 2-ply twist fingering weight. It's 80% Southwest Merino, 20% nylon. It's 400 yards per 100 grams. It is so soft. I love the color. I'm into green. If you can't tell, I'm into green. Green, pink. Green and pink are my go-to colors. If it's not pink, it's green. And I try really hard to branch out in the colors that I choose for yarn and knitting, but I always gravitate towards some greens or pinks. But I'm happy with this purchase, and I was thinking that I would use this to knit the Scotch Broom Tee by Woolen Pine Designs. I started that pattern a while ago in some stash yarn, and I enjoyed the pattern. The stitch for the pattern was interesting and exciting, but I didn't finish it, and so oh, sorry, a call came in. Again, I didn't prepare for this episode apparently as well as I did last time. And my alarms are on, my phone is not on Do Not Disturb. Notes for next time, right? But at any rate, I think I started the Scotch Broom Tee a year ago, probably. Got through maybe the top panel of it, one side of the top panel, and decided that I didn't like the color, I wasn't happy with the yarn I was knitting with, and just let it go. It's still knit up somewhere unfinished, just languishing in a bag somewhere. But I think that this will inspire me to start again and finish, because I really love the look of the pattern, the tee, the finished object, and would really love to add it to my wardrobe. So I won't be starting it anytime soon, because again, I'm trying to finish projects, finish a few before I start new ones. And I've got a to be knit list that is 20 miles long, but this is on it. Another item that I bought over the past week or so, I was at Park Avenue Yarns, which is in Friendswood, south of Houston. It is another local yarn shop, but I happened to be on that side of town and thought, why not stop in, right? When you're close to the yarn shop, you have to stop. So I was there and I bought two sets of yarn. I bought two skeins of this Ultimate Sock, Malabrigo Ultimate Sock in Magenta. It is very soft. Malabrigo is always very soft, but it's beautiful and just the most wonderful bright magenta color. I plan to knit the Tumble Tee by her name has just completely escaped me. I'll put it in some show notes down below. But the Tumble Tee, what Lydia made, she has the most unique style and eye for color and design. I love her and what she comes up with, and I love the Tumble Tee. I want to knit it, and I want to knit it in this color. I think it'll be gorgeous. So that's another to be knit that I plan to do. I also started a knit along and am doing the Helix Crop, and it is a summer knit along by Iris and her Instagram is, and see, this is the worst, I didn't prepare, H Iris Makes. I will put it down below. I will be better prepared next time, but I'm excited to knit the crop. This is how much we're commingling purchases and whips right now, but this is how much I've got done so far. I've knit about 3.5, almost 4 inches of the rib, 1x1 ribbing, which I love. And I originally was going to use stash yarn, and I had the best skein of hedgehog fiber. It was these really pretty blues. It was gorgeous, and I started it and I was knitting it up, and I thought, this is going to be the best thing ever. I love it. But quickly realized that I needed 2 skeins, a little more than 1 skein, and wasn't going to be able to finish my size in the Helix Crop. So, and I didn't have anything that in my stash that felt right. So I went online and I bought this BFL Tough Sock in Pop Grudge. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love the gray and then the pops of color. It is 75% blue-faced Leicester and 25% nylon. It's 465 yards per 100 grams. And it's really wonderful. It's the fabric it's creating is very wonderful and nice. It's not super soft, but it's not super rustic or rough either. So I'm interested to see how it does as a finished object garment to wear. It's the Helix Crop is just, it's cute. So that's all I bought yarn wise. I think I did pretty good. I didn't buy too much. I had a week where I felt overwhelmed and anxious and hormonal, and so I bought yarn. I spent money. I spent lots of money. I bought too many things. I bought a lot more than just yarn, but this is a knitting podcast, and so I'm going to stick to what I bought that's yarn related and knitting related. I also, while I was at Park Avenue Yarns, I also got these cute, I don't know, it's hard to see all of them. There is a cute little sailboat underneath the sun. There it is. There's a sun and a sailboat. This cute little gumdrop looking one, a jellyfish, and a cute pink cloud under the jellyfish. There we go. They are Michelle's stitch marker set. It was super cute, and I love stitch markers and buying them, so I couldn't resist. We can move on to whips. Actually, I have an FO, or a mostly finished object. I showed you that I was working on the Felix Cardigan, and I have finished the cardigan, mostly. I have to wash and block it. I've sewn in all the ends. I have to wash and block it, and I've ordered buttons, and they're in the mail on their way to be attached as soon as they arrive. I am not sure that I'm ready to wash and block this yet. I really enjoyed knitting with this yarn. It was the Wool Dreamers, right? Wool Dreamers in the Mota yarn. Wool Dreamers Mota, and there was no, it was a color number, not a color name. And I'm really enjoying the way this knit up. I think it's going to be gorgeous once it's washed and blocked. But I am not happy with the way the button band and the collar have come out. They're too loosey-goosey for me. I think I'm going to pull out the collar and the button band. They only took not long. It took maybe an hour to do them. An hour and a half if I'm just being relaxed about it and not in a hurry. I think I'm gonna rip them out and re-knit them in a smaller needle size to make it a little bit tighter. Because right now when I put it on, we'll see if I put this on. Right now when I put it on, I'm happy with the way the arms fit. My puffy dress sleeves. I'm happy with the way the arms fit. Ignore my puffy sleeves. I'm happy with this, right? I'm happy with this part, but I'm not happy with how big the collar looks and how big and loose the button band is. I think I'm gonna knit them tighter so that, and maybe even I'll rip out the cuffs and knit the cuffs tighter also, because I'm not happy with that either. How loose it looks, or big. I don't know how to describe it, but I want it to be tighter, a tighter knit rib. The hem looks fine to me, right? Like, it feels like the hem looks like I knit it with a completely different size needle than the button band and the collar to me. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I don't like it. I think I also might, we'll see. But I have some time because the buttons are in the mail still. They're in transit, and it won't take long to do that. So I think that's what I'll work on this week. So it's an almost finished FO. I really love it. I love the fabric. I love the weight of it, and I'm really excited to get it finished. We'll see how I feel about it after re-knitting the button band and the collar. So that's my mostly FO. I don't have any other FOs because, like I said in my first episode, I am a process knitter and I like to start things and have trouble finishing them. But that's going to change soon. I worked on my cardigan and did a great job getting close to finishing. I started, as I mentioned earlier, and my stitches have all just come off. I'll have to fix that in a minute. But I started the Helix Crop. I love a good 1x1 rib. I think it's the most relaxing, meditative, zen thing to knit. I love knitting sock cuffs because of that. I love knitting hems and button bands and everything, especially in sock yarn. Sock yarn 1x1 ribbing is glorious. It's my favorite thing and I love it. So being told I have to knit 5 or so inches of 1x1 ribbing in sock yarn for this pattern has been a joy, and it's going a little faster than I want it to because I'm enjoying it so much. What if I just kept knitting like an entire 2 skeins of just 1x1 ribbing in a tube? What would I do with that? I don't know. Maybe a big infinity scarf cowl thing. But for now, I'm at 3.5, almost 4 inches on this, and I don't know if you can see how this Pop Grudge is knitting up. The color, the way the color's pooling is very pretty, and I think this tank is going to be lovely. It's a few inches of, I wish I had a picture to show you handy, but I don't. It's a few inches of the ribbing, and then the body of the tank is, it's got a little bit of a, what's the word? I've lost my words. Cable detail motif on it that looks like a little helix. That's why it's called the Helix Crop. And it's I-cord straps. It's super cute. I think it'll be perfect for summer here in Houston. I am still a little self-conscious about showing my arms and my body in general, because when I was much bigger, I covered myself up quite a lot and didn't want to show skin or what I considered to be unsightly fat arms. And as a bigger woman with a larger chest, it's very hard to wear cute little strappy crop tops or tank tops without, not that everybody feels this way. I know a lot of people who have confidence in themselves no matter what, and it shows, and they wear what they feel good in, and sometimes that's a crop top. And the way I feel about my own body should not be a determining factor in how other people feel about their bodies if they have similar bodies to me. And so that's something I work on all the time. How I see myself is not how other people see themselves, and how I see myself shouldn't dictate how other people feel about themselves, or how I think, like how I see other people, right? I shouldn't judge anybody based on how they look or their size. Working on that. But since I lost weight, I've been trying to, part of healing my self-image, the way I see myself and having a healthier body image, is to branch out and try new things. And this new thing is a crop top, tank top to wear in the summer to show lots of skin and be confident. So hopefully when I finish, I'll take some good pictures and post them on my Instagram, or even wear it here and show you guys how it turned out. But that is an exciting whip that I'm eager to finish, and be proud of. Even if I don't wear it often, in the end, I think it's been fun so far, just because of the 1x1 ribbing. I'll tell you how the rest goes as I progress through the pattern. I am still working also on my, oh, look, I just dropped a bunch of these stitches too. How much fun is that going to be in a little bit when I finish this podcast, to sit and rescue all my stitches. But I'm still not very much further in my copper wing shawl by Wool and Pine Designs. I'm still working on it. I am 8 rows away from being finished with this section, with the section I'm knitting with the Ritual Dyes Maiden in Pisces. After I finish this section, there is one more chart repeat section that's almost as wide, of the pink color again, but in a different, it won't be the same stitch pattern as the main body of the shawl, and it won't be the same stitch pattern as this repeat here, this section. It'll be completely different, and I think that's what's been so fun, is each chart section of this shawl has been a different stitch pattern, but it's lasted, so it's not changed so much that I'm having to constantly be going back to referring to the pattern, to the chart, to remember, like, to figure out where I'm at and what I need to be doing next. And I like that. I like when there's variation and there's some exciting, like, change ups in what I'm knitting, and it's not just like the same thing over and over and over again for forever, but not so changing so much that I'm tied to my pattern and can't keep it in my head. Like this repeat, this 8-stitch repeat, as long as I remember, like, I know how many rows I've done, I haven't had to look at my pattern since I finished, like, the first repeat I haven't had to look at my pattern to do this, which is wonderful because I can just take it out. I just start knitting and I've gotten through it. And it also it looks cable-y, but it's not cables. I like faux cables. I am not a cable knitter. I've not tried to knit a lot of cables before because I don't like it's so fiddly and awkward to me because I'm a beginner at it. And I really admire people who talk about knitting cables without a cable needle. I am not the most dexterous person, and so fiddling around with stitches that are like dropping stitches off my needle, live stitches off my needle to then twist and work my work and pick up other ones, and it's a little scary and intimidating, and I haven't found a pattern that's been relaxing enough and easy enough that it's made me feel at ease with the cables. If you guys have suggestions for patterns with cables that are beginner friendly, let me know. I would enjoy hearing about those suggestions. So those are my two main whips right now, the Helix Crop and the Copper Wing. And as soon as I finish the Copper Wing and the Helix, I'm going to be casting on my Scotch Broom and the Lauder. Hey, that's cables. I bought yarn to do the Lauder cardigan and I plan to cast that on. I also plan to cast on the bag that I found in this issue of Pom Pom Mag. It is a, let's see, it is a crochet bag. It is super cute. It is called the Rising Sun, and it's DK weight yarn. It calls for about 800 yards of DK weight yarn, which I don't have 800 yards of any particular color in DK weight. So I guess I could do fingering held double. I have plenty of fingering weight yarn in my stash and probably 800 yards worth of it, enough to do the bag. We'll see, but I really want to cast it on. I really want to get it on my hook and knit it up. I think when I go to my work convention next week, I leave Monday morning. I won't have a lot of time during the days. I'll be gone for 4 days. I won't have a lot of time while I'm at the convention during the day to knit, but I'll in my hotel room in the evenings and on travel days while I'm flying. We're gonna fly to Orlando. I will have time to knit. So I'm thinking I'm gonna take my Helix Crop and was hoping that I could maybe take, I don't want to take anything big. Like taking my Copper Wing shawl would take up a lot of space and I want to take something small. So I have a pair of socks going right now that are just a Hedgehog Fibers sock skein in Monarch, I believe is what I started knitting it in, the colorway Monarch. I don't have them to show you because they are my car project. I knit at red lights. Any time I can be knitting, I will knit. So on my commute, I know people are gonna feel some sort of way about this, but I have my socks sitting in the yarn next to me, sitting in the car next to me, and when I am at a dead stop in traffic, as I am most of the way to work, my commute's 45 minutes to an hour of just being in the car at red lights, hanging out. I will knit some stitches while I'm stopped at the red light. And then when I go again, I set it down. But so it's in the car. But I knit in tandem, I guess is what you call it. I will start the cuff of one, and I will knit the cuff. I like knitting cuff down. I'm not a big toe up sock knitter, so cuff down is my preference. I'll start with the cuff, and I'll knit the cuff and the leg portion to the heel, whether it's a heel flap and gusset or whatever it is. I'll knit down to where I'm about to start the next section of the heel flap or whatever it is, and stop there. And then I will start the second sock, and I'll knit the cuff and the leg down to where I stopped the other one. But I will continue on and do, like for the Hermione's everyday socks, it's a heel flap and gusset. I started the second, knit the cuff and the leg to the heel flap. I knit the heel flap and the gusset, and then stop. And then I go back to the first sock and I knit the heel flap and the gusset, and then continue the foot portion. And once I finish the foot of that one, I'll go back to the second one, knit the foot, then the toe, and then I'll come back and do the toe of the second one, so that it's not two at a time. I don't like doing two at a time. I've not ever been able to wrap my brain around that, but I at least am pretty even with both socks, where I'm at in both socks, and won't end up with a finished sock and then no motivation to do a second sock. And I find that that works best for me. But I was thinking, long story short, I'll take my Helix Crop and my Hermione's everyday socks and work on those while at the convention. I can take them out easily on the plane. I can carry them in my bag easily from place to place, and I think that will be enough. My instinct is to take everything I have going, including my copper wing shawl and my Felix Cardi, to get it fixed up. But practical Jana says to only take the two small projects and work on them when I have time, because they'll be inconspicuous if I want to take them to like a session and work on it while we're in session, that kind of thing. It'll help with my anxiety, my social anxiety. We're going to be around a lot of people, making conversation, awkward conversation about who knows what, and I am not looking forward to that part of it. But one fun thing is, our company has, as our fun outing, every year we do convention as our fun outing. One evening next week, they're taking us to Universal, and they've rented out a part of Hogwarts, of Harry Potter World, the Hogwarts and Hogsmeade section of Universal, for our company to enjoy after hours. So we're going to go have dinner in the City Walk area. They're going to have a little private area with food and everything. And then after we're done eating and enjoying our time there, the staff of Universal will escort us to Hogwarts to enjoy the rides there and the shops and attractions and stuff. And so that's going to be really fun. I won't need knitting for that activity, because I think who needs to knit while they're in Hogwarts? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But for the rest of the time, when it's work and like listening to sessions and people talk about our industry and everything, that part I might need to knit during, because, you know, social anxiety is real with this one. Let's see. that is all I have going with whips. I'm still making plans for my upcoming travels and shops to visit in the areas that I go to. We're flying to Maine at the end of May, May 29th. We're flying out. We're going to fly into Boston and then drive up to a little town in Wiscasset, Maine, to visit some family and see the sights. Josh, my boyfriend, he grew up in Maine in Wiscasset, and his family all lives up there. So we're gonna go visit them and enjoy our time. But while I'm there, I'm going to the Maine Fiber Frolic, the first weekend of June, and I'm also looking to visit yarn shops in the area. So if anybody has anything they recommend that's fiber knitting / crochet / anything related in Maine, let me know. I'm interested to hear about it. And then in August, we are going to Seattle for Flock, and I'm super excited about that. We're gonna do Flock in Seattle, of course, but the week before we're gonna spend a few days in Olympic National Park and do some hiking and see some beautiful scenery there and enjoy ourselves for a week in August. So if anybody has any suggestions for things to see and do up in the Pacific Northwest that is knitting and yarn related, let me know so I can add that to my potential things to see while in Washington. But I think that's it for today. I've enjoyed speaking with you guys again and visiting with you, chatting. I made it 42 minutes, right on time, learning, progressing, growing. I really hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I feel like we all could use some knitting and fiber arts time. If you have any questions for me or suggestions for things you want to hear me talk about in future episodes, comment below. Shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm happy to hear from all of you guys. But otherwise, happy Friday, and we'll see you next time. Bye.